Alright, so how is it going, everybody? Today we have our team for the Stanley Hut playoffs. So if you don't know what that is, basically every year Bojo puts on, it started out with Saad, but Bojo has been putting it on the past couple of years. It's basically the Hut, or the playoffs in Hut. And there's enough creators in there, some of your favorite creators. If you haven't watched his video, I'm going to link it down in the description. Give it a watch. Basically, it just gives you all the rules and everything of the tournament. It's best of 3 in the first round, up until the final, which I think is a best of 5. So it's pretty decent, but basically you go and you have a 1,600 overall limit, and you're randomized a team from the playoffs. I got the LA Kings, which is it could have been worse. I could have got Vegas, but definitely it didn't turn out too bad, as you'll see. So I got the LA Kings, and you have 1,600 overall cap, so that means adding up the overalls of all the players. You can't go over 1,600. You can be under it. You can't go over it, and you basically have to create an all-time team to use. And it's kind of difficult because there's so many players that I would love to use on this team that I can't because of the overall restriction and the overall cap. But it didn't turn out too bad anyways. I think it's going to play really well in the tournament going forward, and I'm really hoping that we can go far, unlike the real LA Kings that are just getting bodied by Vegas. So with that being said, let's take a look at the team. So first line, left wing, we have Jarome Iginla, one of my favorite players of all time. The 88 International Player of the Game item. Super hard to find. Ended up finding him on the market, which was thankfully really good. He plays really well for being a power forward. Definitely a good shot out there. A big body with the silky smooth and thread the needle. He's pretty quick, so that definitely does help out in our advantage. Definitely a really good right shot on the left side, as I like to have players play on the off wing for the one-timers, and he, from what I've used online, is a very good player. Next up is Anze Kopitar. This guy you wouldn't think necessarily would be as good as you would think, just because in the past Anze Kopitar has been pretty slow in Hut. He's not bad this year. Like, he's really, like, you really notice when he's out there because his defensive ability is just ridiculous. Like, he has 97 offensive awareness and 95 defensive awareness. Doesn't really ever take a penalty. He's got 86 on faceoffs. This guy is a great defensive player and a great puck mover as well. He never really seems to score any big goals for me, but he moves the puck really well. He's always getting back on the forecheck. It's super important in my gameplay style. So Anze Kopitar is our first line right winger, or first line centerman, and our first line right winger is the 93 overall flashback Milan Lucic. Definitely a card that a lot of people probably would sleep on, not really think he'd be worth it. He's very fast. He can really hit players quite well. His offensive awareness is up, and his shot is just absolutely incredible. It's so powerful, and his wrist shot accuracy is actually really good. And you wouldn't assume that from a Milan Lucic card, but this card plays really well. And so, being a left-handed shot, he's the perfect candidate for our first-line right wing. Next up is the Evolution Wayne Simmonds. So, the deal with Evo cards in this tournament is basically, since I'm locking the team in at 1,600, Simmonds can't come off the team as well as any other Evos that we have. And if he gets upgraded overall-wise, it doesn't hit against our cap. Unfortunately, Philadelphia seems to be playing awful. So, I mean, if they have a great game and Simmonds can get a lot of points, that'd be great, because then he would get a bump up with the playoff item. But I don't think that's going to happen. But again, Simmonds, second line left wing. He's not bad at all. I think he's pretty good. He's got a decent speed. He can throw the body really well. And that's the thing that I've noticed from LA, is that a lot of players on this team can throw the body, and they're a very physical team. But Simmonds is there. He's good for that. Got a decent shot. Overall, you know, an okay player for an 87 overall, but he is our second line left winger. In the middle, I know what you're probably thinking is, why the hell is Yari Curry in the middle? That's because he has 90 faceoffs. Definitely the highest overall faceoff guy on the team. He plays really well. He's very fast. He's got a ridiculous shot. Not as good as Lucic, but still very good. At 91 overall, this guy is a very good card to have. A lot of players would think about playing him on the wing. I definitely would rather play him on the faceoff, or in the center, for that 90 overall faceoff percentage, because like that's huge. In any game mode, you know, having a good faceoff man is huge. And Curry definitely steps into there. He wins a lot of the draws, and that's definitely useful for us in this. So he is our second line center. Next up, unfortunately, with messing things around, it has to be the 86 overall Gaborik. I also have the flashback 90 overall Gaborik, but pretty much, honestly, with Silky Smooth and Thread the Needle, he plays like the 90 overall anyways. So it works out. The 90 overall plays way better anyways with those two synergies on. But this one works out for us anyways. And 86 overall, he's got 88, 89 across the board. Plus with the bump, he's up into the 94, 95 range. His awareness is decent. Basically, you pretty much just have him on the team for the shot. Or for his speed, not a shot. His shot is pretty decent, but it's not anything to get crazy about. But again, left-hand shot on the second line right wing is a perfect position for Gabrick to play. Next up, we have the Evolution Jeff Carter. A huge body out there on the ice, can definitely throw the body around pretty well, has a really good shot, even though a lot of the times he doesn't really get that many good chances from when I've played. Decent speed, awareness is okay, discipline, he really doesn't take too many bad penalties, which is good. He's got the right-handed shot. His face-offs are 79, so they're not the greatest. And once again, this is another player that is an evil item. So if he gets upgraded, if somehow LA can come back and not get swept by Vegas and he has a great night, and let's say he gets up to an 88, that would be great for me because then I would have an 88 on the team and it wouldn't hit my cap. So Jeff Carter is our third line left wing. In the center for the third line is Jeremy Roenick. Again, just another amazing card. A big body on the ice. Definitely could throw the body really well. Good awareness, decent shot, okay speed. Like Roenick is a really good face-off guy too. He's got 82. For the most part, I can just push face-offs with him and he generally wins, which is huge for me. So JR is our third line centerman. And on the wing, which people might be scratching their head about, Braden Schenn, third line right winger. He was drafted by the LA Kings, never played a game, was traded, but he was a property of the team, so therefore he's eligible for this build. So 91 overall Evo Schenn, again, a St. Louis Blue, so he's not going to get upgraded, but that 91 overall card is nice. I would have rather had the not the Evo card, but the other, I can't remember if it was a primetime card or not, but there's none on the market, so the Evo card's gonna have to do. 91 overall, he is very quick, has a really good shot. The awareness category's up there, doesn't really take any bad penalties, just an overall really good card for the third line of all lines, honestly. And here's where things start to get a little bit lacking on offense, just because of the stack lines that we have in the first three. So we have a base gold Tyler Toffoli. Unfortunately, he's not the quickest guy. His shot is decent, not really that great. His awareness is really good. So I figured he'd be a good fourth line candidate for us, just because of that awareness. And the defensive ability is pretty decent for a base gold card. Even with the upgrades and stuff that he will get from the synergies, he's still not that great. Maybe an 85, 86 overall. But again, it's the fourth line, so what matters? Also on the fourth line, we have Nate Thompson, who needs a contract. But he is a trade deadline card, 78 overall, not anything crazy at all. He's not really fast. He's decent for balance. His awareness is kind of crappy. His shot is kind of crappy. But again, I had to put him on the team because he has that 78 overall, and that's going to bring our cap down. Good for on the body, though. His checking and strength is very good, like everybody else on the team. But again, 78 overall. He's our fourth line centerman. Nothing really crazy there. And on the fourth line, to give him a little bit of juice, I decided to put Luc Robitaille, 92 overall legend, because, just because there's bad players on there doesn't mean that it has to be a completely bad line. So why not throw Luc Robitaille on there? He's got a crazy shot. His awareness is awesome. Doesn't take any bad penalties. His hands are amazing. His speed with the synergies makes him actually pretty quick. Overall, a really good card, and we have him on our fourth line. And that's just because I wanted, when Toffoli and Nate Thompson get out on the ice, I want them to have a guy that they can play with that is actually going to be decent for them. And Robitaille is honestly the guy on the fourth line that does all the work, and he does do that quite well. He plays actually fairly well with Thompson and Toffoli. Like, you wouldn't think that they're as below overalls as they are. It works out for me, so Luc Robitaille, fourth line right wing. Now we're going to be taking a look at our defensive core here, starting it off with the first line left defenseman, because I like to have my defenseman handedness switch just for the one-timers. We have Drew Doughty on the left side. Again, really good card, really quick, good slap shot from the point. Great awareness for a defenseman, is just insane. Can throw the body, not as well as everybody else, but still can do it, and just a great card overall. So Drew Doughty is our first line left defenseman. On his side is the recently acquired Dion Phaneuf, flashback to the Calgary Flames days. Again, 93 overall. This card is really good. Dion Phaneuf, as you know, back in Calgary, was a huge body on the ice and just threw the body around crazy. His slap shot power is a 99, and same with his wrist shot power. So the shots that he takes has the chance of hurting somebody if they hit them basically in front of the net. And it's happened before when I was playing. Taking a slap shot with Phaneuf, hits a guy in the leg, they get injured. It works out for us. Skating category is also very good. He plays like a 96, 97 overall defenseman. It's just crazy. Him and Doughty on the first line is an insane shutdown pairing for defense. Next up, you have to have the old captain, the Hut hero, Rob Blake. What can I say about this guy? He's a decent speed guy, nothing really too crazy. His shot's okay, nothing really crazy again. Defensive is where he really shines out with the defensive awareness. He's a 90 overall. He's pretty much good in every aspect of the game. Right shot on the left side, that's how we do things. Rob Blake, second defensive pairing. As well with Rob Blake, we have to have Christian Folin, and that's just because that overall. So 80 overall for him. Again, not a very good card, but surprisingly plays pretty decent when he's playing online. I don't know why he plays the way he does, but he doesn't play like an 80. I would say he plays like an 85 or an 86. So he's the pairing with Rob Blake just because somebody had to take it. And so Rob Blake, you know, I figured it was a good match for him. Last pairing here, we have the 87 overall Ice Jake Muzzin. Card is pretty average all around. 88s across the board pretty much for an 87 overall. Plays pretty good defensively. That awareness is up there, which is important. Stick checking and checking, again, huge guys on the ice for LA, as you can imagine. Acceleration is good with the synergy, so he's on the third pairing with Christian Ehrhoff, team of the year. So this is where I noticed Christian Ehrhoff used to play for the Kings, and I was like, we got to get him on the team because those synergies are just crazy. This card is very good, especially with the synergies that are activated. It means his checking is really good, his defensive category is really good, he's fast, he's got a really good shot. Ehrhoff is very important for this team, and he rounds out the defense. So in net, the goalies don't count towards your team overall hit, thankfully, because we would be really screwed if they do. We're starting things off with the star of the month, Jonathan Bernier. He's going to be our starter in case if things go bad, we'll switch to our backup. But overall, what I've noticed from him online is that he's a really good goalie. He plays really well, and I haven't really noticed any problems with him at all. He stops pucks. He doesn't really make too many big mistakes out there, and I'm hoping that he can do that for us as a 94 overall. He's got some good synergies. His stats are pretty good across the board. He's not aggressive, which I like. Everything else is about a 95, and you can expect that from a 94 overall goalie. So he's going to be our starting goalie, and backing him up is the other Jonathan Quick with the Evo edition, and I decided to go with Quick over like Martin Jones or Ben Bishop because of the playoffs. So again, if LA takes their head out of their rear ends and realizes how to play hockey again, Quick could very well get a playoff edition item, and that would increase his overall and not hit our cap. So that was my idea. If Quick and the LA Kings go deep in the playoffs, he could very well be a 99 overall that we could use on our team, but it doesn't look like that. But anyways, we're going to use him anyways. He's a good goalie, 90s across the board, pretty average, and he's not bad. I don't think we're going to have to switch off Bernier at all, so Quick is just there just in case he gets upgraded. So that is the team we have put together for this tournament. We are playing the terrible one first overall, or I guess first overall in the games. It's a best of 3. He's got Vegas. Pretty good player from what I've seen, but I don't know if his Vegas team is going to be able to compete with this team. They don't really have the experience. Like, they've got James Neal and William Karlsson, I think, and Jonathan Marchessault. And I think that's about it for like high overall players. So he'll be well under 1,600. I guess Marc-Andre Fleury too. He'll be well under 1,600. And I think that's going to be like his arrow to the knee, I guess you could say, is that his team just doesn't have the depth that mine will. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you are an LA Kings fan, let me know who you would have put on the team. Dustin Brown was a guy that got cut last minute just because of the overall cap. Plays really well, but Dustin Brown did get cut. Other than that, I was wanting to put Ryan Smith on the team. Couldn't find him anywhere on the market, and just all sorts of things. So let me know what you guys think of this video. How far do you think we're going to be going in the Stanley Hut playoffs? Those are definitely going to be uploaded to the channel, so you're not going to want to miss that. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, definitely click that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so, and turn on those post notifications so you don't miss any of the Stanley Hut video that are going to come out on the channel. I want to thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you next time.